Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jayo Kunja Bihari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jayo Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabho Girivaradhari Gopijana Vallabho Girivaradhari Gopijana Vallabho Gopijana Vallabho Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana 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 Yamuna Tiro Vanachari Yamuna Tiro Vanachari Yamuna Tiro Vanachari Jana Vallabho Girivaradhari Jana Vallabho Girivaradhari Jana Vallabho Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Hey Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tiro Vanachari Yamuna Tiro Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Nitai Gaurango, Nitai Gaurango Jayo, 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 Nitai Gaurango. Radhe 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 Govinda Radhe 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 Govinda Radhe 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 Gopinath
Sri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Sri Rupam Shagrajatam Shahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Shahadvaitam Shabadhutam Parijana Shahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Shahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanita Mande Guru Padadvandam Bhakta Vrinda Shamanitam Sri Chaitanya Prabhu Bande Nityananda Shahoditam Sri Nanda Nandanang Bande Radhika Charana Dvayam samayuktam vrindavana manoharam Guravi Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Stadalai Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha Namo Yom Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutali Simati Bhakti Rakshaka Sridhara Swami Sri Saraswati Priyeshta Shevanam Shuvigraham Sri Sharuparaya Rupa Ragarashmi Sundaram Radhika Sudivya Bhava Ranjitam Priyam Badhum Sridharam Bhajami Bhakti Rakshakam Chiraprabhum Bhakti Rakshakam Chiraprabhum Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Simati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namini Namaste Saraswati Devam Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatadeshatam Gaurangaikagati Brajasitamati Sri Gauradhamasthiti Satchastraikavriti Kushanga Virati Dusthabhyatha Niskuti Sri Rupai Karati Shanatananati Sri Jivate Yastati Sri Siddhanta Saraswati Vijayate Gauriya Vasthipati Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhaiva cha Patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Again Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. First of all, I offer my prostrated, respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of His Divine Grace, Guru Pada Padma Srila Bhakti Rakshak, Sridhara Deva Goswami Maharaj, and humbly pray for His Divine mercy be bestowed upon me, upon all of us. As next, as none different from Him, I also offer my most respectful obeisances unto the holy lotus feet of their divine graces, Srila Abhay Charanaravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada Ji, Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj Ji, Srila Bhakti Vaibhav Puri Goswami Maharaj Ji, Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Daita Madhava Goswami Maharaj, all my Guru Varga, and humbly pray for all of the divine graces be bestowed upon me, upon all of you, the good souls assembled here. In the culmination, I offer my most respectful obeisances to the holy lotus feet of His Divine Grace, Simad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Prabhupada. With humility, pray for His divine mercy be bestowed upon me, all of us. My loving regards to all of you, the good hearts assembled in this Harikatha program, Krishna Katha functions. So, it's the pleasure, it's special happiness for all of us to be engaged in such Ishtagoshti of about for Srimati Radharani, Krishna Chandra, and Srimad Mahaprabhu, Gaura Nityananda Gadadhara. Our Ishtagoshti should take place under the divine guardianship of Panchatattatma Gaurari, Gaura Nityananda Gadadhara Prabhu, all our Guru Varga. That should be the mood. They are all spiritually present. They are all spiritually present in any Harikatha functions. Wherever there is pure Harikatha, pure Krishna Katha, Radha, Krishna Katha, Gauranga Katha takes place, manifest. They are all there. Invisibly, spiritually. If we can feel, as we can connect to the frequency of the feelings, then they also visibly manifest, not just invisibly, but visibly through feelings. Any specific query from any devotee? That is my preferred style often. To relate to Krishna Katha, relate to a specific topics of Krishna Katha according to the nature of the questions and queries of the devotees as it manifests through the devotee's heart. Since there are innumerable topics, innumerable topics to discuss about Krishna. So, I can continue spontaneous way, but if there is a specific query, I like to invite.
This is not a question, it's more like a big topic to talk about, because I can ask many questions about this. And it's regarding the field of feelings, spiritual feelings and material feelings. Their similarity maybe and difference between them. And maybe you can tell something about this.
There are similarities and difference.
Yes, maybe their nature, if they're coming from one source, or how we can understand this is like truly spiritual emotion, or it's just a sentiment which is coming for a moment. Because actually, if it's like true emotion coming, then we need to respect this and remember this and keep it, and should be something very valuable for us. But some sentiments, it's opposite. We, for example, change of mood, material mood. Now we have good mood, after some time we have bad mood. So these kind of things we should not value at all, because it's very temporary. So how to distinguish between them and this?
Not only to distinguish between them, not only to differentiate or discriminate between them, but also develop some ability to avoid the material sides and embrace the spiritual sides of the feelings. You know, since we are living in this mundane plane of existence, in this mundane world, so there will naturally be some mundane influence in our living. There will naturally be some mundane feelings due to mundane influence, mundane associations, material associations all around us. But a part of the sadhana, a part of the cultivation of our spiritual life or life divine should always be to get out, to keep ourselves out of the mundane influence and live with higher spiritual influence. So that should be one of our main mottos, main aims. Although as long as we are living in this mundane world, on mundane plane of existence, it is very hard to stay away or aloof from all mundane influence and experiences. Mundane is material. Yet, we should make a conscious try. We must make solid conscious efforts, continued efforts, with the best of our sincerity, with the power of our sincerity, because sincerity has got a lot of power. So as we keep on making efforts to the best of our ability, sincerity, we can do it. Some higher spiritual power will be manifested, will be discovered and manifested from the bottom of our soul, from the bottom of our existence, from the bottom of our heart, from the plane of our soul. They will be very helpful. I repeat, you can have some power, derive some power from the very level of the Chaitya Guru, or Guru, divine guide in the form of our deep, sincerest heart's feelings, in the form of the feelings, inspiration from super soul, from within. And we embrace that power, and with that power we can make it. While also engage in prayer, or receiving the power divine power of mercy, also from the world in transcendence above, transcendental worlds, from the transcendental Lord. Because our super soul and Supreme Lord both are very closely related. Still, our super soul living with us in our life is no different by the nature of Tattva, no different from the Supreme Lord Himself or herself. Actually, super soul, in other words called Paramatma, is a direct expansion of Lord Krishna within us. Is representative within each of our life to take care of us, take care of our soul. Like each child has got parents, father and mother. Similarly, each jiva also has got Paramatma, as divine parents, father and mother combined together in one. Paramatma, trainer, nurturer, Bhakta, Lord, rightful owner of all enjoyments. Maheshwara, none other than the Supreme Lord, in the form of Paramatma, living close to our heart, our soul, as loving guardian. So we should accept, we should not miss that chance. We should never miss that chance to accept loving guidance from my loving guardian, living close with myself, with my soul or my real self. We have to want, have to cultivate that wanting. Like small, like child, while going away from the parents and playing all. Parents watch from far. Parents are watching from distance, lovingly. But the same baby, same child comes running to the parents, get on the lap and embraces, gives hug and embraces the parents through spontaneous feelings of love, through the spontaneous reciprocation, loving reciprocation of the parents. Then the same parents feel so much love for the same children in reciprocation. Okay, suppose some child is coming running to the parents and getting on, climbing or getting on to the lap of the parents, sometimes giving hug, embracing, like their intimate shelter. And then right at that moment, mother or father also feel so much love. Of course, if they are not distracted by some material energy, they also reciprocate. In a similar way, when we also act in a similar way with Paramatma, go go close, running and embraces the divine guardian, loving guardian, he or she also reciprocates accordingly. These are not some just emotional talks, realistic talk, not just nice emotional talks, but very realistic. But I can call it realistically emotional. Realistically, lovingly emotional talks. Has to be qualified in this way. So back to the point. So while we start reciprocating with our own super soul, Paramatma, with the best of our sincerity, with some desire, sincere desire, then some power, some help comes from within, no doubt about it. Which helps us to keep us away from the material influence. At least it checks us not to be helplessly be influenced. Okay, that way also. While engaged in natural prayer, engaged in our loving prayer to the Supreme Lord, Divine Couple, to help us with their superior energy, energy of the grace, power of the divine grace, so that we can overpower material influence, overpowered by their divine power, we can overpower material energy and stay spiritual. And they also reciprocate. Invisibly, spiritually, reciprocation comes. Help comes. So in the combined effect of the both, help received from super soul, help received from the level of super soul, or over soul, help received from the source, origin of our super soul, Lord Krishna. Then we receive that. We find some superior ability to do that. But we cannot do it simply by our own limited ability. When we are living within it, then there is no another support from outside to pull out. When we are already within material energy, how can we pull out? We need some other support from outside to pull myself out. That's how it happens. And also by positively motivating ourselves all the time. I should not let myself be all the time influenced under material energy. I am a spiritual being, spirit soul. Wake up. Okay. Don't be all the time sleeping under the mode of material influence. You wake up. Rise beyond this and discover myself. Be myself. Discover myself. Find myself and then be myself. In a spiritual way, as I am. Talking to one's own self, talking to myself. Yes. Also effective. Like it's called great self-caring mode of self-caring. Self-love, self-caring is not prohibited. in our life. Rather, it is also helpful. But self-caring, self-love in relation to love of God, love of Guru Vaishnavas, love of Supreme divine couple Mahaprabhu is required. Not a selfish love of selfish with separate interest. That is prohibited. Never a selfish love, care for our own self. That is mundane, separating us from Krishna. But a self-care, a self-love, self-loving care in relation to the Supreme Beloved Krishna, quite okay. Because then we care for ourselves, our own selves. In that mode, we care for ourselves, we love ourselves in order to care our loving service, life of loving service to the Krishna. To feel, to have our care and love for Krishna ultimately. And caring, loving ourselves with the realization that I am none other than extension of energy of Krishna, from Krishna. See the relationship, Sambandha Jnanam is very important. Doing things with the lights of the Sambandha Jnanam, nature of our eternal divine relationship with the Supreme Lord, Supreme Divine is very, very important. And we should always stay conscious, we should always motivate ourselves to connect to the world of Sambandha Jnana, to connect ourselves, to stay connected with that world of Sambandha Jnanam, with the Supreme, between us and Supreme Lord. And be living in that world. Sometimes the super soul can be so intimately relating with us, like we can receive some nice, affectionate, loving guidance from the super soul again. We have to want to relate. We have to want a close relation with the super soul. The factor is that, main factor is that there has to be wanting within us to intimately relate to my loving guardian. Utilizing our free will, freedom of love to the best. And it happens. So, practical process of self-motivations, also working in a nice way, very helpful. Why I am laying stress on this point? Self-caring, self-motivating in a very positive way, because we can practically do it. It's like that question may arise, how I can be divided into 2 selves, 3 selves. Well, that's the mystical ways of our nature, identity. Like for example, we are this body. We see this body, mind, spirit, oneself. Now, the body, mind, spirit, the 3 different levels, aspects of ourselves interrelated. Then it is divided into 3 aspects of life. They can relate to each other. Like the way with our own hands we apply some pleasant massage on our own body. See, a part of ourself is caring, engaged in caring another part of the body. Okay, that's how we do. 1% of our body and self is taking nice care of the another person. As this is possible, in a similar way, we can also talk to our own self, our higher self, our finer self can speak to our comparatively lower self in the mode of intoxications of material influence. And guide, okay, inspire, guide, motivate, not to stay low with low spirit, be high spirited, not to stay influenced, helplessly influenced by the material energy. So that's how. Process of self-care, self-love, self-care, self-love works in relation to love of God. Another practical way of keeping us more spiritual being away from material influence and be more spiritually influenced is to feel the beautiful energy, beautiful influence and energy aspects of the Supreme Divine Lord in the form of Paramatma Brahma, all-pervading, superpower, the beautiful, the blissful, beautiful and blissful. And also personality of the Supreme Divine Truth, Krishna, beautiful personality, blissful personality, heart attracting, soul attracting personality of the Supreme Divine Truth, Krishna. So, we got the link, okay. And the practical way of getting rid or staying away from the material influences is to feel the subtle energy, spiritual energy and presence in many of the so-called material things. The material things, but they're doing it spiritual way. I repeat, all the Mahabhagavata devotees, highly qualified, exalted devotees of the Lord, relate to all the material things in a spiritual way. It's possible. Very practical. Feeling Krishna's presence, feeling, sensing, be motivated to feel into the subtle presence, influence of Krishna's energy into all the matters, all the material things I need in my life to live, to continue with. I need in my life to live. Okay, then they become spiritualized. They no more remain as just only material. It is also possible. Very fine, intelligent way. Feeling into Krishna's energy, Krishna's presence. Just as when I look at the flower, look at the trees, flowers, skies, surroundings, Mother Earth. Look at ourselves. See them. Visualize them. Feel into them. They are all beautiful expression of the energies of Krishna. So relate to them with that higher consciousness, in Krishna consciousness. Simply relate to them all in Krishna consciousness. Then they don't remain just material. They become spiritualized. Oh. All these colors are so beautiful. They're so, these colorful flowers, oh, they look so beautiful. Because they have Krishna's beauty in them. They're naturally beautiful. Where from? This natural beauty coming from the Supreme Source, Supreme Origin, Divine Origin, Supreme Origin of the beauty. See? We immediately relate to the beauty of the power, colorful beauty of the flower in Krishna consciousness then. Not just, oh, nice flower, looking so nice. Then it will be more materially limited, casual way. Oh, this is so fragrant. This fragrance is Krishna's fragrance. Fragrance of Krishna's energy, ultimately. Coming from the original soul. Giving you an example. Look at the trees. Watch the night sky full of planets. Not only full of clouds, full of stars and planets. So mystically interrelated. Not just astronomically interrelated, so mystical, divinely interrelated. The whole galaxy, whole universe. Sharing the same infinite space and time. Another aspect of the Supreme Lord, because space-time also none other than Krishna. Space-time, big universal system is none other than Krishna, Krishna's manifestation. See them, simply view them, see them, relate to them, reciprocate with them in Krishna consciousness. Then they no more stay as material. Then no matter how you are influenced by them, by their beauty and power and majestic nature and all, you are not influenced by material energy. Actually, you are influenced by Krishna's energy directly, because you are in Krishna consciousness. Instead of relating to them in material consciousness, doing it in Krishna consciousness. Question may arise. These things we understand. There are some beautiful stuffs in our life. We understand that in case of relation to the beautiful material stuffs in life. How about the bad stuffs? How about the bad No. Some evil type of material stuffs in life. How can we relate in Krishna consciousness? Disturbing elements, disturbing material elements in our life. There is a way. The thing is that they do not remain as bad when they are also related in a spiritual, higher spiritual consciousness, Krishna consciousness. Bad things turn into good. All the bad things, bad influence turn into good influence. Some nice influence. Well, we know, we have learned the art how to relate to them. Evil no more remains as evil. Okay. While the aspect of Krishna's energy, positive energy of Krishna, divine energy of Krishna, awakens. Like with the manifestation of light, darkness has to take leave. That's the way it works. Like for example, with the light coming, darkness has to take leave. No other way. With the connection of superior divine energy, all the connections of non-divine things, illusory, evil aspects, evil negative aspects would leave, has to leave. That's how it happens. Suppose you find someone being very angry with you. I'll give you some solid example. Suppose you find somebody being very aggressive, angry with you so much. So in general, you feel greatly disturbed. You just feel, I repeat, in general you feel just distaste, disgusting. That energy, negative energy of that anger and aggressiveness towards you, consider to bad, merely evil. But if you are trained up to relate to even that energy, that aspect of the human beings, lower aspect of the human being, Krishna conscious way, spiritual way, you will not be affected by that negative energy, by his aggression or anger. You can still maintain peaceful countenance of peacefulness, equilibrium. Just think, okay, it's another form of Krishna's energy, negative way, which is useful during the time of annihilation type of activities, destructive activities. Okay, now manifesting in this person. Or maybe it has some kind of use, utility, coming out for some reason, maybe to make me more qualified, to train up like elite commando. I often give that example. Train up like elite commando, to make me learn more, train me up more, how to develop my spirit of toleration, in order to help me develop some spirit of toleration, how heroic I am on the face of this such anger and aggressions, whether I can just take it easily, with superior ability, some superior power of myself, or I become so vulnerable, weak, and be easily influenced by this anger and feel very bad and disgusted. about that I am affected by it. But maybe it is happening to test my patience and test my ability, how I can tolerate it and overcome this, overpower the energy of anger with heroic, peaceful, heroic energy, heroic power. And superior ability. I am not getting angry. How I react to that. Maybe it's coming in my life to teach me, to train me up more, to test me, test my quality, to season me more. That's another word, good word, to season me. Understand seasoning? No? Sometimes, some piece of woods or bamboo sticks or certain stones are seasoned, means they are kept under certain situation, soaked in water for a while, then in sunlight and so on. Then they become stronger. Okay. Like iron, while you extract steel from the iron, ordinary iron, it becomes much stronger and powerful. You need a greater heat. You need a process. You need a more powerful, process of much having much greater heat and intense heat to prepare the steel. Steel means it's like substance of the iron. So without the iron passing through the process of extreme heat, while other things are melting, ordinary iron melting, but still, sometimes also, certain portion of steel also melting, excessive heat. But still, the steel is considered the substantial part of the iron, very strong and powerful. Why I am saying this? We can get on the face of the big test in our life, elite commando, you have to pass through the austere training, no comfortable training, then only you can have that qualification. You can rise up to that level of qualifications. It doesn't come in ordinary way, common way. Similar way, I can give you many more examples, similar examples. When you need to be expert in the field of sports, in the field of, suppose in the field of games, different sports and games, activities like Olympic Games, like soccer, World Cup soccer, and all this, volleyball, basketball, whatever, cricket, whatever. Then you need to go through austere training often. Why? Those trainings may apparently look like, I'm not feeling happy with, I feel distaste with it. My coach is very bad. My coach is very unkind, cruel to me, make me work so hard. All the time making me work so hard. Going through training and training sometimes, one may misunderstand the coach and may not love coach at all. He is some very unkind, rough and cruel person making me work so hard. Austere training. Momentarily I may feel like that, but when you get results in the Olympic Games, win the medals, start getting results by winning the sports, winning the games, winning medals, then all this past unhappiness, sad experience, so-called sad feelings, distaste, all become transformed into ornaments, ornamental feelings. No negative feelings, no more negative feelings about why coach made me work so hard, trained me up so hard. Because of that, that's why. Because of that reason, today I am here, I am on this level of qualifications. So back to the point. So therefore, sometimes we should accept all those apparently negative or really negative material things in our life, such as aggression, angers, evil things from others, adversities from nature or society. In a way, like they're also coming to teach me something. They're all appearing in my life to teach me some nice lessons, to make me stronger, train me up nicely against their energy, to make me stronger, train me up with higher strength, with higher ability, like ability. So now I'm testing myself whether I can maintain my patience and peace and peaceful state of equilibrium, and still relate to that person in a nice way as if nothing happened on the face, when the same person coming out to me with great anger, evil anger and aggressions. Still I can look at that person, give a smile. Still I can look at him, relate, continue to relate with him with a smile without being affected by his evil energy of anger and aggression. Just take it easy, peaceful way. Trying to help him in a more friendly way. And when one can do that, that person on the other end with so much anger and aggression cannot continue for so long. Cannot continue for so long because, number one, he won't get any counter resistance. If he would get some counter resistance, his anger would increase more, aggression increase more until he collapses. But when he doesn't get any counter attack or resistance, rather it's the way of reciprocation with him in that state is opposite. The more he's coming out with angers and evil, okay, evil expressions of all this aggressiveness, all this, the more the other person relating in a very nice, lovely way, loving way, affectionate way, compassionate way. So in that case, the person's anger, heavy anger and aggression cannot continue for long. It has to come down, has to be quietened, quiet before the energy, positive energy of kindness, compassion, affection, friendly, loving, friendly care, with well wishes. And that person can give a big hug. Fine, pacify. It works. Cannot continue that, even that great anger, evil aggression cannot continue for long. It works. That can be subdued by the superior, higher positive energy of kindness and compassion, forgivingness, and just you are relating back in a friendly way, nice, friendly, affectionate way, in reciprocation. Except for the fatal conditioned state, except for some very gross, crude, fatally conditioned state of the karma, where we cannot change. It is supposed to happen in the way it is predestined. We can work out. It works wonderfully with the way I have just explained. almost all practical fields of life. I just gave you one example, how the material energy, when the negative material energy can be subdued by positive energy. One example. I can give you many such examples. How you can relate to the bad things of the, how you can relate to, deal with the influence of the bad material stuffs. Easy to deal with the influence of the good material stuffs, but how the bad material stuffs and energy. Talking about challenge of life. So, in some ways. Give me some bad example. Okay. Somebody is attacking you, trying to kill you. If you are intelligent enough, you are already very intelligent in the first place, expert to defend yourself, you can counteract that. And through some higher spirit of loving compassion can change the heart of that killer. It is possible. But at the same time, you have to be intelligently expert to defend yourself also. Both are required. The energy of self-defense is a positive one. Life-saving energy of the self-defense is coming from the protective energy of the Supreme Lord. That's the aspect of the protection of the Supreme Lord. Has to be understood that way. So, Lord Krishna says, help yourself. On the face of some adversities, apply your intelligence, higher intelligence, help yourselves. You can do it with higher preparations. Instead of feeling frustrated and disappointed and feel helpless. While you are faced with problems, face it with some spirits of solutions. With the ways of the solution, instead of being just disappointed and frustrated and helplessly surrender to the energy of the problem without connecting to the same problem with spirits of solution. That is Krishna conscious way. Giving you example. While we look at the problems and try to relate to it with the spirit of solution, that is done in Krishna consciousness. Because Krishna consciousness means the supreme divine consciousness. That means consciousness of giving solutions, giving peace, harmony, solutions of life instead of problems. So when you relate to the problems with the higher spirits of intelligence, higher Krishna consciousness, problems can be converted into solutions. With the solutions, all problems go away. It is there, we have to discover. Called the arts of living, arts of adjustment. So, for example, except for the extreme fatal conditioning of the life. Fatal conditioning means it's predestined, we cannot do anything, we cannot change. Except for that, we can change a lot through our proper applications. Like for example, you go to India, on some parts of India, it's a scorching heat. You are faced, for the first time in life, you are faced with scorching heat. Okay, experiencing scorching heat, too it's too painful, too torturing. But you are never used to it. If you just feel, so on the face of the experience of the scorching heat, if you just allow yourself to be influenced by that feelings of austerity, okay, that it is torturing you, then you will feel more tortured. Then you are going to experience more torture. You will be just helplessly subdued by that, overpowered it, and you will feel, at some point you feel helplessly frustrated and disappointed, tortured by it. But on that face, there is an art. Just be intelligent. If we just become intelligent, okay, on the face of scorching heat, I need to follow certain process. Need to find out some ways of solution. How? So put a big turban, nice turban on my head, covering my ear and nose, almost whole part of my face, only eyes are looking. Okay. I should have enough clothes to do away with that heat wave in the air called Lu. Okay. I should try to find some source of some cool water from the nature. Drink some cool water. Resting for a while, not drinking immediately coming out of the sun, then there will be sunstroke. Rest for a while, then drink cool water, cool down. Okay. And I should just mentally prepare myself. Oh, this is nothing. Okay, I can take it. I can take it, pass through this heat. Other people are living around me. They are also human beings. Maybe I'm from a cold country, but others are also there. Okay, they are also. They might be habituated. Okay, it's true. There is difference between them and me. I am from the cold country, cold situation. They are from the tropical country. They are more habituated. Yet they are human beings. If they can survive, I can also survive. Okay. As they come to when they come to our country, they survive somehow. I have come to their country, I can also survive. So just take some preparations, mental preparations. Oh, this is nothing, I can take it. Then at some point you can feel, you can find within yourself, you have already got some superior ability. You can face that heat and go through, pass through. That's how many of you move through Vrindavan, move through Delhi during the summer. Many of the Westerners do that with protections. Okay. So while you are faced with a scorching heat, don't be hot. Don't be so frustrated. Be prepared mentally and bodily, physically and mentally, spiritually. Be prepared materially also to defend against that scorching heat. And at some point, through mental preparation, you can find with your own self, you are now being able to absorb certain portion of the heat, which you are not able to do in a normal condition of your lifestyle. You cannot do it. But now you are being slowly acclimatized. It's called, there is a term, realistic term called acclimatized, getting acclimatized. Slowly being that. What it means? Something what you are thinking a moment ago, I cannot do it. It's too much for me. After you become acclimatized, then you think, okay, I can pass through. It's okay. Makes a difference. When you are inside the home, feel little chill, you turn the heater on. Oh, it's cold, I'm feeling cold, austere. I don't like this. Turn the heater on. But when you are outside, when the same person goes outside in the icy cold wind blowing, you don't have heating system with you, no heater with you. Then you get mentally prepared, okay, just to take that cold. Same person, not feeling so austere, to take that cold of outside, rather enjoying sometimes. Nice, cool breeze, cool wind. Okay, fresh air, taking cold. Okay, with the proper, of course, with the proper warm clothes and all. But still, there's no heating arrangement. Every people cannot afford a heating, cannot afford the arrangement inside. These days there are some also dresses, found warm dresses with some wares, thin wares inside, with heating arrangement. But mostly people don't do that. They just wear some usual warm clothes, coat and jacket, and go out, taking so much cold, wind blow. Sometimes I see the people not even covering their head, open head, taking cold. Different attitude, different temperament, different mental preparations. Same person can do it, just changing the attitude and temperament, adjusting. Just by adjusting. Okay. Sometimes the way the elite commandos have to pass through the icy water, they have to dive deep into the cold water, some pranayam and all, some way just to survive and somehow pass through, and then manage, once get almost collapsing, somehow manage to pass through, and then get onto the other side, and then keep on rubbing and all measures to bring back the heat, natural bodily heat. But the ordinary persons may not be able to survive so much. They also have to go through some. Okay. So, why I'm explaining all these things? Something. So there is efficient, intelligent ways to interact with even some negative material things and situations in life, with some higher preparations, higher physical and mental, spiritual preparations. Then we receive some extra power, ability. It is possible. It is quite possible. That's how the big persons win the battle. You know, that's how the big generals, soldiers, elite commanders win the battle, they win over. Something almost impossible, they make it possible. Like climbing up the icy mountain, which is going up like this. Ordinary person cannot climb up. But the elite commandos were trained up for doing it. With life risk is there, but with safety, always safety measures, are trained up, they can do it. They can make it. Climbing up at mountain, almost this way, sometimes this way, slightly. And how the elite commandos in the war sometimes, in the Kargil war we found, some of the commandos, because the soldiers, the enemy could not think of somebody can climb in that way. Sometimes they are coming and seeing somebody is there, because there are some ways to hide. And the mountain rose high in such a way, not only this, sometimes tilting, external, on the external sides, to risk. And some elite commandos are climbing, how to say, engraving, like engraving that, how do you call in English, that in the ice, storm, in a careful way so that enemies cannot hear this sound. So much patience, memory, climbing slowly, and so tedious job. Okay. Hiding silently, so that they're not noticed by the enemies on the top of the mountain. And at some point, they reach their goal. Very tedious, nearly impossible. But still, sometimes some of them fall down, some of them just die, their life is killed. Some of them, during Kargil war in India, they attack from behind the enemy line. The enemy cannot imagine some persons can come through this path. Almost impossible. So giving you some extreme examples, which looks like impossible mission, can be possible. Not with ordinary level of energy and power, superior level of power and strength. Comes. In the Olympic Games, sometimes we see one time in the heavy weightlifting, or javelin throwing, or any other things. One time they could not break the record. Twice they could not. And they take some yogic preparation with full focus and concentration. And the third time or fourth time, the same person is breaking the record. The same person. Some extra energy coming in them, the extra preparation, extra power, which helps them to break the record. Of course, within a limit, but they find the way. In the first effort, second effort, it feels like I cannot do it. But still, they don't let themselves be down with the feeling I cannot do it. But they rather start being into the meditation, positive meditation. I can do it. Opposite way, opposite to feelings I cannot do it. They start being into that feelings. They start that strong, powerful meditation with full focus and concentration. I can do better. I can do better than this. I must do it. With that full concentration, full power, when they start doing the same thing. Okay, try again. The next time, they are able to do better. They break the records. We often find that. So, the reason I'm giving you all the practical examples, to give the message, practical message, realistic message, that even on the face of the problems, you can find out the ways of solutions, or make anew. If there are no ways found out, if we cannot find out the ways of solution, let us make it. That ability also given within us. Okay, we have to discover that superior ability from within us, from the gracious help of the Lord. So, problem becomes more problem, a greater problem in our life when we think, oh, so much problem. Then problems becomes mixed with our thought process, and it makes everything more problematic. We die before death. There's a saying, cowards die many times before their death. Cowards die many times before their death. We cannot be cowards like that. Okay. Before solving the problem, I make the problems grow more due to my fear, due to my own weakness. That is another problem in me. That's also, I've got the problem of weakness in me that intensifies the problem what I'm facing with. No, I should not do that. Rather be in a mood, be in a frame of, a positive frame of mind. Be in such a frame of the spirit and mind which is filled with solution to that problem. Trying to find out, engaged in finding out solutions for that problem. If there is no ways of solution found out, they are creating. I can create, make the new ways of solutions. That is also possible. Then what happens? The problem, all those problems, seriously looking problems, slowly go away. One after another, they get solved. Okay? Resolved some way. At least they get less and less. It happens in our life. Now back to the point. Now, relating to the things, even some material things, even some of the bad material things, higher consciousness, through higher consciousness. With the help, being situated on the higher power of Krishna consciousness, can bring so much solutions to the problems. So, otherwise they no more remain as problems, they no more continue to remain as problems in life. They are resolved in a slow but steady way. It happens, it is possible. You need to learn the art of that kind of living, art of adjustment. Guru Varga giving example, when you are trying to swim across a river, as you are aiming to swim across a river full of strong current, and if you have to reach some destination on the other side of the river, okay, so then you have to plan out your swimming in such a way, from such a position, that you just swim, continue to swim without fighting against this strong current. Because lots of time, your time and energy will be wasted if you go to swim across against the current. So, the intelligent way for you will be just you swim across normally, okay, just straight, and you will be going across diagonally. While you continue to swim straight way, you will naturally your progress will be diagonal, and you will reach the goal. So you take such a positioning, if your goal is there, okay, to reach it, if your point of destination is there, you have to start swimming from here, so that you diagonally reach that destination, and not far away. So you have to apply your intelligence, to do the intelligent planning, preparations. Comes through training. Okay. Instead of fighting against the current, this is called adjustment, intelligent adjustment. Okay. So this is one example. So when we know the art of finding adjustment, finding ways of adjustment, or creating newer adjustment between my situation and the situation of the nature environment, and then if I can if I can be refitting in certain way, if I can know how to adjust proper way, how to adjust myself properly according to time, place, situation, then what happens? The same things which feel to be very adverse and very, very oppressive, very troublesome. Oh, so I'm going to be tortured by all these. Becomes converted into, at least, they start appearing as less oppressive, less torturous, less problematic, less troublesome. When you know how to adjust intelligently, find the adjustment without all the time fighting with the nature. The defensive arts of living, attacking arts and defensive arts of living the life in the material world also. Okay. Sometimes we give examples like in the World Cup soccer. These days, World Cup football, World Cup soccer became a real fight. Sometimes it no more stays like a play, like a game. Because so much money, so much name, fame, money, rewards are involved with it. If one is successful to put one goal, oh, so much money and award and reward will come, fame, coming. So all the players are very professional. Although it's looking like game, but it's real battle. Without weapons, real battle. Therefore we find a lot of foul playings. They forget. At many points they forget they are playing, they are players, like real fights. Okay. So, but the aim is not to be involved in foul playing. The real artist, the real, the expert footballers, the real experts will try to avoid the foul, playing as much as possible with the help of outside dodge, inside dodge. His real aim to place the ball in goal, not to fight with the opposition coming running to counteract you, attack you. So that's how the Ronaldos or Messis do. Many times they just ignore the outside dodge, inside dodges. They ignore the opponents and put the ball in goal. That's the real aim. So the bad players or the less experts will think, so he's coming to attack me. I should also attack back with physical strength. Okay. Why should he be superior to me? If he can show his power, his strength, I can also show my power and strength. Come on. Then forgetting the play of the football, getting involved in the foul play. Sometimes it happens out of anger. Okay. But the real player, just avoid, no matter how much provocation is there. No matter how much provocation is there from the opposition, to make him angry and and then lose concentration, and then it will be better for the opposition. It happens like in the cricket or football, like sledging type. Use slang language and sledging to make the opposition mentally disturbed so that they lose focus. So back to the point. So real player will just avoid all the opposition coming to directly attack, and just tricky way through dodges, avoid them and put the ball in goal. That's the real aim. Similarly, on the face of problems, our aim should be to resolve the problems. And if it is necessary for us to make some adjustment, proper adjustment according to time, place, situation, we should do that instead of facing the nature and fighting with the nature. So much time, energy will be wasted. We cannot reach our goals because the power of the nature and adverse energy of the nature more powerful than me. So the best intelligent way to find out some ways of nice adjustment so that I can defend myself nicely, pass through that problematic stage and reach the goal. Superior arts of living our life, finding the solution or make it with the help of superior power of the grace of the Lord. And superpower, super soul, from our super soul. Another expansion of Lord's energy within us. So, the nature of my answer to your question became a whole world, so much whole world of analysis to reach a synthetical point now when we learn how to relate to even the material things with in higher Krishna consciousness, following the footsteps of the Mahabhagavatas. So much of the problems gets resolved. Problems no more remain as problems. Okay. With the newer discovery, experience of solutions and harmony, it is possible. Did you get the answer?
Yes, thank you.
Any further question, related or unrelated? Yes.
Yes, I wanted to ask how we can make a relationship with Paramatma, as you said in this answer. So, like, if Paramatma has some like concrete form, like I've read, I think that it's like 20-inch big, Paramatma. Maybe I read that. Okay, so what a form has Paramatma, or if it looks like Vishnu or Krishna, or it's like formless, and how we can create relationship with this Paramatma. How we can more like jak se řekne jako vztahovat, jak se může vztahovat.
Rely ourselves.
Yeah. How we can rely ourselves more. Jak se může více
How we can more rely ourselves to him.
To Paramatma, if it's and how it's look like the Paramatma, like if it's or if maybe some sense can also see the Paramatma in other people, and if it look like Krishna or like Vishnu or
Okay, in the first place, let me clarify in the first place about the size of Atma and Paramatma. There cannot be any real measurement, real concept of the measurement of their size. That is just stated through the scripture, by the scripture, just to give us some idea towards. Just to give us some glimpse of concepts and idea. Okay. Because by nature they are completely spiritual, spirit units. So it's cannot normally be measured from size, the inches or centimeters and this and that. Really, we can change the size also because it's that of dynamic nature. conception of spirit, soul, spiritual size, spiritual measurement is not only that of stagnant nature, also dynamic character. It can be changing its size also, certain ways sometimes. Size is not important. Which is more important is spiritual identity. There is a spirit unit, very powerful spirit unit. Or it's a very powerful unit of the spirit. There is Atma. That is Atma. I'm talking this very powerful unit of the spirit, that is called Atma. Super soul is the direct expansion of this supreme energy, superpower, Lord Krishna. That's not just spirit soul, a direct expansion. Gaur Hari Bol. No, how to realize? No. Sometimes it is better. Sometimes it is better and easier to answer a question through questioning back. I will question you back. How not to realize about our own selves, about our own being, about our own existence. Tell me how not to realize. You ask me how to realize, I ask you how not to realize. Another way, I tell you, just try to develop your feelings, your ways of the realization, the way you feel about yourself in the beginning. It is more tangible. In other words, I question how you feel about yourself, that you are living, you are alive. You are Priya Sakhi Devi Dashi. You can feel, everybody can feel into our existence, such as I am alive, I am such and such. Okay. So everybody feels into their live existence, feelings, so much feeling, thinking, willing, there's so much bodily experience, physical and mental experiences. So we cannot say we don't feel about ourselves. Okay, can be external experience, but I simply answer to you, the way you feel into your own being, into your own self, into your own living being, as you are now, as we are now. Simply develop that feelings further. Intensify that same feelings through meditations, through continued contemplations and meditations. Go deeper and deeper, deeper. At some point you can directly feel into the existence of your deeper self, and something is there, beautiful presence is there beside my soul, myself. That is my Paramatma. That can be done. Such realization can be achieved through the process of in-depth meditation, through the continued, ongoing, insisting life systems or process, journey in the world of meditation, to deepest meditations. some point you can directly feel into your own being and the presence of Super Soul beside your own being. Okay. More concentration, deeper and higher, intensified concentration of the meditation about the basic feelings about your own self has to be there. In other words, I give you some examples, like, for example, just take up. This is a very important point to understand. One of the important points. For example, just simply take up. Take up, for example, that how you feel into your own being in a natural way. Nobody can deny, nobody can say, I don't feel anything about myself. Can anyone say? No. That's impossible. Even if you try to avoid feeling about your own self, your being, still you cannot avoid that, because you are. Your feelings, your life, your existence, all are closely interrelated into oneness. So you cannot avoid feeling into your own self. You are not dead, you are alive. So the feelings of life will naturally relate to your living being. Natural way. So, take this. Okay, so take this for example. As you presently or normally feel into your own being, okay, have experience about your own self in different ways, like the way you breathe. Sometimes you feel some physical pleasure or distress, mental pleasure and pain, emotional pleasure and distress. The way you perceive things like tasting a delicious food, relishing a melodious music, appreciating, enjoying to see a beautiful sight. All parts of the feelings of your own being, in different forms, they are different aspects of your own self. So while they all come together into the oneness of feeling, then you can feel into your own being as you are through different levels of your perceptions or experience of your life, living activities. Just take this for example, that as you are able to feel into your own being, into your own self, into different aspects of your own self and experience, just further it little more, intensify it little more through the meditation, through the power of the concentration of meditation. Go further and deeper, or go higher and higher. Deeper, the sense of the go deeper and go higher is one, actually one. I just speak in a different language. Expression is different, but actually the reality is the same, either go higher or deeper. Because in the world of the feeling about absolute whole, holistical feelings, there is no upward or downward or sideward. All are connecting towards the central truth, fulfilling truth. So there is no such concept, real concept, outward, upward or downward or side. We have to just express higher or deeper that way. So go deeper into the meditation, go higher with the meditation. As you go, become deeper and deeper and be higher and higher, subtler, then you can discover a higher level of your self-realization, meaning realization about your own self, own soul, and as next, feeling the presence, experience the presence of super soul close by you. Some point you can begin to have such experience. Okay, of self-realization, also some realization about the super self, super soul. So I just naturally spoke something, but I also appreciate so much. All of a sudden, I just define super soul as super self. Just came, and I value it. Yes, our super soul can also be explained as our super self. It's so interrelated, so connected. While we're in intimate relation with Krishna, Krishna then represents our super self. Ultimately, we are his energy, or none other than Krishna's energy. Okay, so with some good energy, we are getting promoted to better energy than best energy. That's the only difference. Living with our own soul, like living on the good energy level. Krishna's the energy level that of good category. And thereafter we can be promoted to the better category and best category of Krishna's energy, the super self. So, back to the point. Yes, it is possible. We can have deeper realization about our own self, our soul and super soul through meditations. Meditations with the help of higher knowledge, deeper knowledge or lights of the higher lights of the knowledge and wisdom, and also through higher and deeper feelings, lights of knowledge, lights of our own consciousness, and the lights and the experience of our feelings get combined together, become a realization. And I think, what is knowledge, what is feelings? They are interrelated, these different aspects. Knowledge means consciousness, more aspect of our consciousness. And feeling means direct experience. There is lights through which you can see the things. That's the function of lights, like knowledge. But when you are seeing that thing with that light and relishing it, relishing the beauty of the sight, tasting the beauty of the sight, that becomes experience. We are experiencing the light and the thing which is seen through the light and relishing it, then it becomes realization. Okay? Yes?
Maharaj, I'm very sorry, but if we want to make the arati, we should start now, because after 9 o'clock we cannot play any instruments. I'm very sorry.
Okay. This justification of to say that we happily accept.
I'm very sorry.
We should not feel sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Should not feel sorry with your proposal. Happily accept it. That is called adjustment. Okay, sure. Save it. What is your question? Let me know anyway. I'm not going to answer.
Okay, so first, like this meditation, if you also realize super souls, like also can be silent meditation, or with Mahamantra meditation, or Mahamantra out loud, and or Mahamantra in word, like in silent. This is number one question, and another question is like, so if we are because with Krishna, what I understood that we are like creating relationship like through service. So with the Paramatma, so it's more a realization than creating relationship through service. Okay, this.
Okay. To be answered tomorrow.
Okay.